I was like the cookie monster from Sesame Street, who's obsessed with cookies and constantly saying cookie, cookie. Well, my tag word is skin, skin, skin. I'm just honestly, I'm the skin monster.
Can you
So
tell we have kids? Hey friends, welcome to Keep It Simple Sexy. I'm Christine Bullock, founder of KO Body Care, certified fitness trainer, and mom of 3 little girls who's just trying to juggle it all and feel as good as possible, all while helping you do the same. I'm so grateful that you're here. Now let's get started, sexy. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Keep It Simple Sexy. Today, we have one of the most exciting voices in skin as our guest, Adeela Crown. She's a self-confessed skin tech enthusiast and a self-professed gadget girl, combining cutting-edge tech with her unique hands-on approach. In fact, her famous Skindance is a massage technique like nothing you have ever experienced before, or at least I haven't, and I've had a lot of facials. She actually may have to insure her hands because they are the best in the biz. Her trademark treatments like Supersculpt, Crown and Glory, and Skindance give legendary results and have all of Hollywood knocking at her door. From Marvel Pictures and Universal Studios to the Oscars red carpet and the Met Gala, she ensures that her clients appear on camera and off with the most youthful, sculpted skin. So in demand is Adeela that she spends the majority of her time flying between destinations like Maldives, LA, Dubai, New York, and London, or Germany today. But here today, she's here with you to give you all the tips for tight, tone, healthy skin. Welcome to the show, Adeela.
hello, Christine. Lovely seeing you again.
Thank you for joining us all the way from Germany late at night.
Yes, it's evening, and sometimes you kind of forget how big the time differences are. But well, that's the nature of what I do, really, and I enjoy that.
We made it happen, and I really
Yes.
appreciate it because you are, I mean, when we met here in Los Angeles, I was so blessed to meet you at a Revive event, and truly just the technique, the gadgets that you were able to bring with you there too, and I'm sure you have so many more in your studios.
Quite a few
Um,
behind me.
yeah, I love it. We're gonna get into that today, guys. What's worth it, maybe what's not, but your best gadget is your hands. That was the most amazing facial massage technique I've ever
Oh, thank you.
experienced. Of
Thank you.
course. Yeah. Well, let's dive into it. I mean, I always go back into your background a bit to introduce you to the guest as well, but I think it's also vital in the education. So you began in the world of finance. How did you emerge as a leader in skin health, and how has your mathematical brain benefited you in this career?
I didn't set out to be a facialist, film facialist, A-list facialist, whatever tag they decide to give me these days. There's no career path towards it as such, really. So a lot of people ask me, well, how did you get to where you got to today? I don't think I can really give you a standard answer. But to cut the long story short, yes, finance, international business was my initial calling. I have a financial mathematical brain. But unfortunately, due to the nature of my work, I didn't get acne when I was 13 or 14. I actually started to get acne when I was in my 20s. Now, your skin heals very differently when you're a teenager. Sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad way, but at least it heals. You have more collagen, it recovers. In my case, and being the skin tone that I am of Pakistani origin, I scarred so badly. So that's when I started looking at treatments. And this is, by the way, 12 years ago. Okay, so over a decade ago, when skin tech was still very new, your lasers were still quite primitive, microneedling, radio frequencies didn't exist, and so on. Or if they did, that was just in the medical environment. So I really tried to do as much as I could, which was sometimes at some points was painful. And we're talking about medieval torture looking instruments that used to be derma rollers.
Oh
Now we
yeah.
have the automated smart devices,
Oh,
which are so fast and they go in and out of your skin at the rate of 18,000 RPM. Back then it was just like
I'm sure they were so
completely
much bigger needles too.
bigger needle. Well, they had to be deeper in order to cause some
Oof.
kind of a change for my pitted scarring, it had to go beyond 2 millimeter, which is quite deep in your skin actually. So I used to be bleeding, bruised, go through the whole cycle, the whole rainbow of bruising for at least a few weeks until it was time to go back. And that's just microneedling. We're talking about lasers which would burn off half of my skin and I could actually smell the burning flesh. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't a nice or exciting or even relaxing experience. So
Not at
but
all.
my skin changed. And so, because my skin changed, I went back to the same people and I said, guys, coming to you is the most painful appointment of the month. And yet, I count the days. I look forward to it because it's making a change. My body posture has changed. The way I hold my chin, the way I hold my shoulders, my confidence has come back. I don't hide behind my hair anymore. So I'd like to do what you guys are doing, and they really bless them. They really tried to discourage me, saying, "No, no, no, you'll probably one day become a partner if you continue in your present career. You'll make less money. It'll be more work. It'll be the dumbed down version of, what people expect from, say, medicine. You won't be because what you're thinking of is not quite medicine. It's not quite because there was no word for medical esthetician back then.
Yeah.
You either had nurses and doctors or you had the spas, and there was nothing in between. And I mean, look, the good side is the upside, the happy part of this story is I learned every device, everything under the sun, because I think the financial brain, and going back to your question, coming from the world of finance, my mathematical and financial brain didn't allow me to take a shortcut. So I could have gone to beauty school, I could have become a cosmetician, or I could have become an esthetician. I didn't do that. I actually grew bacteria in labs. I did a cosmetic chemistry degree. Cosmetic science requires you to understand anatomy, physiology, chemistry, biology of the skin. So that's the reason why I decided to create that path in the middle, which is between the very sterile treatments that doctors or dermatologists offer, or the very kind of softly spa treatments. I thought, let's meet in the middle. Let's create treatments which give you the results. So whether you have pigmentation, acne scarring, or aging issues, or wrinkle depth, but let's make it comfortable. Is that possible? And the answer is yes, it's possible. There's so much you can do now. So that's what you experienced, the little slap and lifting and sculpting massage that I gave you when you were blooming and pregnant.
Yeah.
But that was just an aspect of the hand where holistic hands-on treatments can have a profound and lasting effect and even create a memory, a good memory, like
Oh,
in your
amazing.
case, right? So,
Hmm.
but at the same time, the devices and gadgets that I use, they are a part of my treatment. So when I work in the US, it's very interesting. People usually ask me, "Oh, so what you're doing is a European facial." And then I ask them, "What does that mean? What is a
Just because
European?"
you're a European, maybe? It's a
Actually,
Adeela facial.
it's a crown facial, but
Yeah, I love
actually,
it. Perfect.
the reason why they say that is probably because we're very hands-on as well.
Yes.
And the knowledge part and how many years we have to, just on average, I mean, what I did was a slightly extra long pathway to become what I became, but
Mhm.
an average esthetician has to learn 2, maybe 3 years, and then practice and do apprenticeships and, really learn the craft. So yeah, we're more hands-on.
So, and that was my next question. You really led into and covered it. You have a cosmetic chemistry. How is this different, and where do you learn this? Where, how long did it take? You kind of told us about how it's different than a normal cosmetology path.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's
Because
the
I've
thing.
never heard of this before.
Yeah, because it's actually not a degree that leads to do what I'm doing
Oh,
today, Christine,
amazing.
because had I continued in that degree, I would be wearing a lab coat,
Yes.
working in a lab, growing bacteria or deconstructed creams or formulating perfumes or
Products.
moisturizers
Yeah.
and products for L'Oreal or Coty or,
Mhm.
working for one of those big brands, which in itself is very exciting. However, I was like the Cookie Monster from Sesame Street, who's obsessed with cookies and constantly saying cookie, cookie. Well, my tag word is skin, skin, skin. I'm just honestly, I'm the skin monster.
Can you
So
tell we have kids?
so that's why I just thought I can't work gonna laugh. I can't wear this coat for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
It's not even sexy, really. It's an ugly coat, and it completely masks the creativity that I have in my hands and in my brain. So,
Yeah.
but what I did was I never shared the knowledge that I learned whilst I was doing that. I just wish more universities, more institutions offer something like that and give the estheticians an avenue to branch out, to learn more about the products they're working with, to understand the history, the science behind it. But unfortunately, I don't know about the US, but even in the UK, I did it in London. And funnily enough, I actually did it at the London College of Fashion. So back then, that was the only institute which was actually offering something like that. I don't understand what the link is. Well, maybe there is a link, fashion, beauty, you know. But yeah, I just wish more institutions offer something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And that is like, I love the way that your brain works on this. Instead of thinking of just, you look at the topical and think of what's going on underneath, and your brain just dives into it. And that's why your treatments are so effective, from the devices to the hands to understanding the formulas and the skincare. I
Yeah.
just fully trust your expertise. And when you say you love a product, I know that it's going to be a good product. And guys, if you're not on the YouTube, you have to check in or on our social media and see Adeela, because she's exquisite looking. And I mean, you're beautiful head to toe, but it really is like you're glowing from the inside out, from loving what you do, but also just taking care of yourself so well. And the your skin, of course. And to go into that next, I want to talk about the appearance of the skin. And I remember we talked about when we met before how the skin speaks to your overall well-being. What do you see in skin nowadays, maybe in a 30 or 40-year-old skin, that you can relate back to lifestyle choices of your client? Things that maybe our audience can relate to and edit a bit if they need to.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, being a practitioner, being a hands-on practitioner, and then having that inside knowledge about skin, it's a little bit like, say, if you go to, if you ask an architect to build a building who actually has zero knowledge about how to build a foundation,
Mhm.
well, whatever they design and ultimately build will come crumbling down. So you need to have that knowledge. And so if I'm telling people about hyaluronic acid or growth factors or something, and I have absolutely zero clue how the actual technology works, I think it'll limit my terminology. It will limit the way I explain that to you. And ultimately, it will limit your understanding of how to get the best out of it,
And if
right?
you don't fully understand it too, yeah, you're not going to get the most out of it because you're probably not
Yeah,
utilizing it
correct.
fully.
Correct. So I think with the work that I do, and I decided to detach myself from, say, a shop, a storefront, a single location, which I used to have in London. And the moment I became more of a freelance global therapist, I realized I was working in so many different locations. So, say I was, if I work in LA, people ask me usually about sun damage or how to treat it. When I work in New York, it's to do with stress and anti-aging. When I work in London, it's to do with environmental pollution and stress and anti-aging. When I work in the Maldives, it's all of the above because all the travelers are global travelers. They come from all over the world. So it's helped me adapt to different my advice, my techniques, my treatments to every single part of the world. And I think what really I find is people don't really understand the principles of the basics, not the complicated stuff. And I'm talking about having hyaluronic acid and vitamin C first thing in the morning as part of your skin's diet. You know, the way we have a shot in the morning, or we have a coffee, or we have, make that as a part of your skin's diet. And having SPF at the right quantity, which is about half a teaspoon for your face and for your neck. And the moment I ask people, do you apply that much? The answer is usually, oh my God, I didn't even know I needed that much SPF. So it's understanding those fundamental things, and you can straight away negate most of the skin issues that people have. Okay, environmental pollution, you can't fight that. It's a product of the environment and the geographical location you live in. But certain things you can do as part of your skin's diet, gosh, that can have a profound effect on your pigmentation development, on your wrinkle development, on the overall health, about how your skin ages over time. And that applies to literally every geographical location and every age.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, okay. So, tips we've learned, we need hyaluronic acid, our vitamin C to protect. The SPF, I had no idea, but I love that comparison and it's really easy to utilize.
Yeah.
One easy way I will say, I feel like I get that much, but it's because I use multiple SPFs. Like one is
Mm.
really strong, but maybe not pigmented. And then I put another one that has a little bit of pigment to it. So I'm not as bleached white, you know? And so there's a way to,
What you're talking about is the tint. You mean like a tinted
yeah.
SPF? Oh, I see. Okay. Well,
So
that's
that way I
where,
have multiple layers on.
okay, I have a little hack that you can use
Okay.
with SPF.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have your favorite foundation. Heavy, light,
Light.
medium, some kind of a
Yeah.
light. Okay, good. Well, why don't you mix one part foundation with one part
Perfect.
SPF in the palm
Yeah.
of your hand? There you go. You've just created a tinted SPF, but that SPF that you choose has to be the one that doesn't leave you with a white cast, that doesn't make you greasy. So once you've found the right formula, and
Yeah.
I have lots on
I
my
was going to say, what do
website.
you recommend? Oh, on your website. Perfect. What is on your
So
site and
on
what do you
my
recommend?
website, when you
Yeah.
click on shop, there's shop my shelf, which
Yeah.
literally has whatever is on my shelf or my tried and tested products. And under SPF, you'll see a couple of suggestions.
Okay.
Because being a woman of color, trust me, Christine, I've tried
Yeah.
SPFs upon SPFs, everything under the sun. I've tried the ones which, promise amazing things, are called fancy names, are priced at ridiculous prices, and yet
Yeah.
they don't deliver.
Yeah.
So with Revive Skincare, I found the SPF. It's called Solaire Superior, and it's literally the most superior SPF I found because
No way.
it almost feels like, you know how primers feel? It's
Yes.
lightweight, it gives you a glow. It actually doesn't even feel like an SPF because sometimes when I'm a bit lazy, I actually apply it on top of my serum. So it kind of becomes my moisturizer as
Yeah,
well.
and that's what I was gonna say. I love an S for people that are opposed to SPF, or have issues with it and putting. I love it because it's an amazing primer for your skin, and it really
Exactly.
helps to keep your makeup on.
It sets makeup like nothing else. And actually, I tried this little hack during lockdown with SPF and it worked because I wear SPF come rain or shine.
Yeah,
In London, it's always cloudy, it's always
doesn't matter
miserable.
though.
And it doesn't matter because come rain or shine, even if you're indoors, and especially during lockdown, we were doing
Yeah,
lots of Zooms and we are exposed to LED lights, and even those emit a slight blue light. And that blue light can actually have a profound effect over a long period on collagen breakdown and on melanin production. Your windows, even say you're at home or you work from home, but where do we like to spend our time? Where do we place the desk? It's usually near the
I'm
window, right?
facing all these windows. Yeah,
We
I know.
are
So I put my
solar
SPF on too. I thought of that this morning. I was
Yeah,
like,
we are
be inside all
solar
day, but
creatures. We are
yeah,
solar organisms. We cannot run away from the sun. We cannot live like vampires. So even your windows at home are designed to filter out the UVBs, which
hmm
is the burning ray of the sun, so you don't necessarily get a sunburn, but it doesn't filter out UVA. And that's the reason why, come rain or shine, I apply SPF. So during the lockdown, I placed my SPF on top of the moisturizer jar. So each time I opened my bathroom
yes.
cabinet and I reached for the moisturizer, I had to move my SPF out of the way, which meant that I did that a few days, but then I realized, how stupid am I? Why don't I just mix the two together?
Oh
So I started
yeah,
combining them together. One part moisturizer,
yeah.
one part SPF, blended in the palm of my hand. And no, it doesn't weaken the SPF. What weakens the
Just
SPF
pigments
is
it.
if say a moisturizer comes with SPF already and you apply that thinking I don't need additional SPF on top.
Yeah.
That's the wrong
Like
thing.
Revive, I have one too that's Revive and it's a moisturizer with the SPF 45 in it. But
Yeah,
that's actually what I think about is that's not my SPF layer at all. That's my
correct.
moisturizer and it's great.
Correct.
It has a little SPF.
Yeah.
An SPF 45, but
Yeah.
that's like base. And then I go into my makeup station and that's actually where I keep my SPF because I act like it's a primer.
Yeah.
And then I put it on after all my skincare as well, actually.
Well, it's a protected moisturizer. Let's just call
Yeah.
it that way. So
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
moment and for all your listeners in the future, when you come across a moisturizer or a foundation or even a lip balm that contains SPF, just let's call them protected products.
I
But
love
that
that.
doesn't mean that you don't need another layer of protection on top. It's a little bit like, okay, fine. it gives you a little bit of protection, but you still need that body armor, which is that additional layer of SPF. And
Mm-hmm.
trust me, your future skin will be very thankful.
The Keep It Simple Sexy podcast is brought to you by KO Body Care. So tell me if this sounds familiar. You have a ton of high-end serums and creams for your face, but nothing of the same quality for the skin on your body. And that's where my company, KO Body Care, comes in. Our skincare products are made with the same powerful, transformative ingredients as luxury facial products, but they're formulated just for the skin on your body. The same goes for our supplements. We use only the highest quality, clean, plant-based ingredients that help your skin glow from the inside out. My two current firming must-haves are our concentrated firming serum. It's our award-winning total body serum to firm, tone, and deeply hydrate topically. I love to add it with our Skin Perfect Next Gen Collagen. It is so much more than just a marine-based collagen. It also has hyaluronic acid, phytoceramides, trace minerals, antioxidants to protect your skin, boost your collagen elastin, and help your skin glow from the inside out. If you're wanting to learn more about KO Body Care supplements and skincare, head to kobodycare.com and use KISS20 for 20% off your first purchase. Speaking of all these tips, when I met you as well, I was pregnant again. I've been through 5 years of fertility, which kind of flared or started my melasma journey. And then when I got pregnant, melasma kind of went away. I got pregnant again. And when I met you, my melasma was just beginning to flare.
Yeah, I saw
But
that.
it's very obvious to me. But you were so kind, and you were saying, you told me how great the quality of my skin was in the sense of like the hydration. First of all, what does that mean to you? What are you looking for? Second of all, thank you so much, because you said it was one of the best you saw in LA. So I'm
Well,
learning a
maybe
lot from
because-
all my experts. That's what it
I'll
says.
tell you why. Maybe because I've seen the worst. Okay, so when I think of melasma and sun damage, I'm talking about like literally people being covered in it. Or in LA, on my clients in LA, I see this a lot. The face is flawless. And then the sun damage begins from the neck downwards and goes all the way into the chest and shoulders and the arms. You know, because everyone, and it's a telltale sign that your sun protection pretty much then stops here, right? No one really continues it south, and it has to go south. It has to go all the way down to your tits or whatever is like, you know, exposed.
Whatever's out. And there's a lot exposed in LA.
And the thing is, even if it's not exposed, trust me, that's where most of the collagen breakdown will begin to happen. So where is it that we begin to age first? It's usually the neck we complain about, the middle of the breasts, the back of the hands, you know, so those are the areas which it's unfortunate that people don't really protect or don't take even their skincare or the serums down to.
Exactly.
So when I saw you, the reason I commented on your skin being so amazing, and yes, your problem was melasma. Okay, melasma is not a sign of bad skincare. And I think people need to understand that. And even in your case, melasma, unfortunately, was due to your hormonal condition, right? The upheaval of hormones, your skin producing too much melanin. We all have melanin. I have more melanin than you do. That's the reason why I'm darker than you are. But it's when the melanin starts to mutate and it becomes clumps of pigment. And that's what we call melasma. And it's caused by sun, mostly hormones, pregnancy. Now, that's what I was commenting on. I was commenting on the fact that, okay, it's unfortunate to be in that melasma period or the window of melasma, but otherwise I saw no signs of dehydration. And as a facialist, I look for, okay, if someone is dehydrated, that means that they don't have enough moisture level, hydration level underneath or moisture level on top. They are more susceptible to wrinkling and scarring because you no longer have the bounce in your skin. So the moment you start to develop those lines and wrinkles, a dehydrated person will show lines more clearly than someone who's a little bit more plump and has the right level of hydration. Any kind of, you know, those UV cameras, Vizia, those smart cameras which pick up everything, even they look for your level of hydration. That's one of the first things those smart cameras look for. Another thing I noticed was your wrinkle depth. I mean, you know, for the fact that you're a mother, you're a super mom, by the way, and you juggle so many different things, you clearly at some point take care of your skin. You clearly have some kind of, it doesn't have to be a very obsessive skincare routine, but you have a skincare routine, which I, as a practitioner, could see, and that was very visible in the texture of your skin. So when I see someone who doesn't really follow a good skincare, maybe doesn't apply serums or applies a moisturizer but doesn't exfoliate
Or
at
maybe
least
not a
once a week.
quality skincare too, I think.
Exactly. So I'm looking for what basically I'm looking for is not surface level. Like in your case, melasma, it probably made you very conscious, but
Mhm.
I looked beyond that.
Mhm.
So what I was looking for was the skin health, the health of your skin, which was pretty good. So you see, it pays to take care of your skin because on the surface, yeah, you may have melasma, you may have picked up some sun damage, but if your skin's in good health, gosh, it's able to bounce back and it's able to fight back.
So what are those things that you would recommend, ingredients, I guess, in the morning or maybe in the evening that you would recommend that's vital for that skin health? Just some basics.
I have found one type of, and I think some brands will absolutely hate me for this, for saying this, but I'm also a journalist now because I write for the Financial Times, so I have a beauty column, so I have to be very impartial as well. I have found vitamin C in powder form. When you add that to hyaluronic acid fasting in the morning,
Mhm.
as opposed to vitamin C, which is pre-blended, comes in those beautiful bottles. It's because it's already pre-blended and pre-activated. Unfortunately, every time you open that bottle or pump it or whatever the mechanism of using that vitamin C is, mostly it's liquid vitamin C. The
Mhm.
moment it comes in contact with air, with sunlight, it starts to deteriorate and oxidize. And
Yeah.
oxidation is the product coming in contact with oxygen. So oxygen starts to kill it, which is why it starts to change color. It starts to go a yellowish color. So the moment your vitamin C starts to go yellow, that's a clear sign that it's not really effective anymore. And so I started using vitamin C in powder form a while back, actually, starting from early this summer, adding a few shakes of a powdered vitamin C. And that way you're activating it the moment you're mixing it with a serum or a cream. So because it's not pre-activated, it kind of comes alive the moment you mix it. And so you're in control of how strong that product is. Of course, you should have used some sort of vitamin C beforehand for your skin to be familiar with
Mhm.
the
Yeah, I was gonna
product.
say, is it stronger that way,
It is
potentially?
stronger that way, but it's more effective that
Yeah.
way.
Mhm.
But remember, these powders are still quite stabilized,
Yeah. Yeah.
so you now come across even cleansers which are in powder form, those
I love
enzymes
them.
powdered
Yeah.
cleansers. And
Mhm.
those are so effective as well because you're kind of bringing those enzymes to life the moment you mix them with water. So it foams up and it cleans you in a deeper way. So I think vitamin C in a powder form was something I found to be an eye opener. That was very effective. Ferulic acid, it's an unsung hero and it's an antioxidant. It has quite a superpower. And I found ferulic acid when it's mixed with your vitamin C, it's amazing. Look, I'm a confessed serum girl, gadget girl. I love to do something called serum cocktailing.
I love it.
Um, People are quite surprised by serum cocktailing, but my answer to that is it's not like you're just mixing random bits of serums together. You have to have some
Yeah.
level of knowledge. It's like you going into the kitchen and having 10 ingredients. You have to have some level of knowledge how to work with it. Otherwise, what you'll make will be quite a disaster, really.
And I'm sure it changes daily too. It's like, I
Yes.
have a few products, like I don't have 20 years ago, I worked at Sephora when they first launched in the United States, and we would get everything for free. I mean, I had over 100 fragrances. They
Hmm.
really gifted you a lot. So I had so many products in there right at that point. Now, yes, I might have 3 face serums and 2 creams and a few oils
Yeah.
options, but I kind of mix what I need for the day too, in
So
that
you're
sense.
already
Yeah.
cocktailing. Look at you.
Well, that's because I really cocktail at night, so I need the hydration too and the help, depending on what kind of cocktail and how much I've had.
Well, but that's the thing. Look, you give 3 ingredients to a Michelin star chef, a superb
Mhm.
chef. They'll probably create something gourmet. You give me
Mhm.
those 3 ingredients, I'd probably make an omelette. So you need to know you need to know your ingredients. But having said that, it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that, it's very complicated. I think brands like Dyceum, for example, or The
Mhm.
Ordinary, or the Inky List, they've created skincare which is pretty simple, really. It's simplified skincare. So we're
I love
talking
that.
about now hyaluronic acid being an element in everyone's bathroom shelf. It's
Hmm.
nothing which is strange or weird or scary anymore.
Hmm.
Gone are the days, years ago, when I used to get stupid questions like, oh, so hyaluronic acid is an acid, it will peel my skin.
Oh, yeah.
And I would say, no, no, no. It's called an acid because of the pH level, which is close to the acid mantle, which is quite low. But actually, the effect has nothing to do with acid. It's not going to, peel your skin or make you peel like a snake. And now what we have is people having more knowledge of what niacinamide is, what ferulic acid is, what can salicylic acid do as opposed to glycolic acid. So I really applaud these brands for really bringing the ingredients to the forefront, making
Hmm.
it so simple
Hmm.
for for consumers to go to brands and pick and choose what they need. Retinol, for example, used to be quite a scary word.
Hmm.
But now, people know, oh, I can mix this with retinol or I can layer that with retinol, which will give me better results. But I shouldn't really use, say, alpha hydroxy acids with retinol. That's bad. So I think we need to just have that level of basic knowledge. As long as I think everyone has hyaluronic acid at home, vitamin C, ideally in powder form,
Hmm.
ferulic acid if you have any kind of melasma or pigmentation, salicylic acid for those who have bad breakouts, or glycolic or lactic acid for those who just want exfoliation but don't necessarily have breakouts. Niacinamide for those who have inflammation and open pores. I mean, if you understand these basic ingredients, if you don't, then maybe look on the Inky list, and that's not Inky list, the brand, as in INCI list. And there's a web portal. It honestly gives you a list of every ingredient and its explanation and what it does. So the next time you say, I don't know, pick up a product and you look at the back and you think, oh, I don't quite understand what, I don't know, squalane is, then go on the INCI list and find out what it can do for you, really.
Isn't she so cool, guys? Like, Adeela has all the information and really breaks it down. I just love the way your brain thinks about it. It's not the foo-foo part of it. It's like really understanding, which was what this podcast is all about.
There's method to my madness.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a method. So you touched upon retinol,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to try this tip that you gave me. You use retinol different than I've actually ever heard anybody use it. So most people use it every night, 2, 3 times a week. Can you explain how you've used retinol over the years?
Oh, when I gave you the staircase option, right. So that's
Yeah.
the three-step option
Hmm.
where the first 10 applications of your retinol, by the way, retinol comes in different strengths, and I'll touch upon that in a
Hmm.
moment. But the first 10 applications can be every third night. So you should never ever start every night, which means if you use it on Monday, you skip Tuesday and Wednesday, and you apply it on Thursday. So you do that 10 times. And if you're doing it every third night, 10 times, that should take you 30 days, which is the first month. So the first month, you're only using it every third night. You can even put that in your Google Calendar, or I don't know if you have a manual calendar, you can use a tick or cross kind of option just to remind yourself. Then the next step is every second night. So when you use it on a Monday, you skip Tuesday and you apply it on Wednesday. The whole idea is you're actually building up your skin's tolerance slowly and slowly. Retinol is a strong product. It's a derivative of vitamin A. It will make your skin peel layer upon layer upon layer and produce fresh, healthy baby skin layers. But when it makes these layers of baby skin, which come to the surface, it has to displace the older skin cells. Hence, you get the peeling. Hence, people get so scared of using retinol after, say, 5 days or a week, and they stop using it because they think, oh no, my skin's peeling and
Or have
everything
an
is
event or
red.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to stop using it. No, that's because they've probably overdone it. So I think if you do that, so the first 10 applications every third night, the next 10 applications every second night. So by the time you reach your nightly application, you should have already been using it for about 6 to 7 weeks. And those
Hmm.
6 to 7 weeks are just that really good sweet point, that Goldilocks point, when it's not too long, but it's not too less, and it's just the right time for your skin to then start to feel, yeah, I can handle it every night now. And I usually advocate the sandwiching routine. So you do a sandwich. Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay, let's jump. And this is where my serum cocktailing comes as well. Right, so you apply a serum or a cocktail of serum, and the base has to be, say, hyaluron. So your bread, the first layer of bread is hyaluronic acid. The
Okay.
lettuce or bacon or whatever your filling is, or ham or cheese or whatever you like, that's your retinol.
Okay.
Okay? And then the next layer of bread on top is your moisturizer. So what you're doing is you're applying serum, retinol, moisturizer,
Yeah.
and you're doing that at night. So sandwich it every sort of third night, move it up to every second night before you move it nightly.
And then you keep it nightly forever.
No. And
Okay.
that's another thing. People use retinol far too long,
Mm-hmm.
and it does thin out the skin. It does make your skin vulnerable. Like in your case, I would probably suggest a slightly stronger retinol
Mm-hmm.
because of the melasma situation.
Mm-hmm.
Retinol starts from as little as, say, a quarter percent, it goes to 0.03, half a percent, all the way up to 1%, one being very, very strong. I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
recommend anyone who's a newbie to start with
Yeah.
1%, that's too much. So for a beginner, maybe 0.2 or a quarter percent is actually very good. But what you should do is you should give yourself a retinol reset. So say this time of the year is absolutely perfect. September, October is a time I tell for most people, if you're not going to be exposed to the sun, if you don't live in the southern hemisphere where actually this time of the year is summer, then it's a good time to apply retinol for, say, the way I've explained to you the three-step process. If
Mm-hmm.
you apply it every third night for 10 applications, that's 30 days. Then every second night for 10 applications, that's about 20 days, so three weeks. And then from that point onwards, maybe for another 3, 4 weeks, five
Mm-hmm.
weeks max. So it should be minimum 10 to 12 weeks of retinol per year.
Yeah, so
In
that
other
is, it's a
words,
great for fall. That's your fall
yeah.
or
So you
winter.
start in September, you
Yeah.
should ideally finish around Christmas or just before the festive season, before the
Mm-hmm.
parties begin, and you have to apply makeup. And then don't touch it for the rest of the year. You've now given yourself a retinol reset. You've shaken up and woken up your skin. So let your skin do what it can do. And it's not like your skin's stupid. You've just built a memory in
A
your skin. You've
metabolism of it too,
Correct.
right?
And you've actually activated that metabolism. Just the way your body and your
Mm-hmm.
gut works, that's what you've done to your skin.
And this was the miracle that I have been waiting like months to try. Honestly, one, because I was pregnant and I couldn't use it. But
Yeah.
after hearing this full tip, and I was like, I love this. And then you're not utilizing it all the
Yeah.
time. Plus, it's like, well, especially in California, the sun is out,
Yeah.
all of that creates these sun
Or you might have a
sensitivities.
holiday planned, like
Yeah.
around, say, the school holidays, where after Christmas, maybe you want to go to Mexico, you want to go to the Caribbean, or,
Yeah.
so what you then do is you give your skin a break, and that's when you can move on to the vitamin C and the ferulic acid cocktail that I just told you about. That can be
Hmm.
your daytime thing. And
Hmm.
at night, that's when you should introduce collagen growth factors or even ceramides, proteins, anything that really repairs your skin because your
Yeah.
skin will be so thirsty after the retinol reset. But no,
Yeah.
you don't need retinol for the rest of the year. I know marketing companies tell you this product is safe to use throughout the year. You can, if you want to, in lower doses and, pace your skin. You don't necessarily have to use retinol every single night for the
Hmm.
rest of the year.
Yeah. Okay. You guys had to have that tip, so I wasn't going to let her get away without it. So we've talked a lot about skincare and what we can do at home, and you're a self-professed gadget girl, which I love. And we can actually talk about both the higher tech as well, some of the treatments that you think you should have when you go to a spa, but
Mm,
also there's a lot of products. One like on your website that you have that are at home devices. So, what can we
yes.
use at home? And I purchased a few of them from you actually. What
Yeah.
do you think are vital for your skin health at home? Because there's so many out there now.
You're absolutely right. There are so many out there. I mean, on our website, we have on my shelf, but if you want to shop at like and look at so many different options, there's radio frequency, there's ultrasound, there's even a percussion therapy. You know, Theragun, Therabody does this amazing gun, but now they've come out with something which is literally 8 in 1.
Wait,
So
do you
these
love
things,
this? I haven't tried it yet. Is that good?
I have it right behind me. Oh my God, Chrissy, I love this
Oh,
thing.
I'm going to get it right now. Like,
It's so
purchase sold.
funny. You know, I travel so much,
It looks
so
amazing.
so far I've taken so many flights, and every single time I get stopped because they think this is a sex toy, but it's not.
Stop.
Well, but it
I'm not
does
going to say, but it
vibrate.
looks
It does.
violent.
It does so many things, but you know, it has the red
Yeah,
light, the blue
yeah.
light, it vibrates, it gives you percussion massage, it has the
It's the
cooling
massage.
cryo.
Yeah, the cool too. Yeah.
Oh.
And we're out. Bye, guys.
Bye, it's a wrap. But it does so many amazing things. And that's the thing. I mean, as a practitioner, I've been seeing when I first started 10 years ago, I mean, these things used to look like, you know, those old school computer servers, those huge things,
Yeah.
like the size of a big, huge fridge. And now they fit in the palm of our hands.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is, say, one of the things I love. I mean, right behind me, I have a few things. I have the LEDs. I even have the world's first laser.
How is the Lima? She's holding the Lima.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's
I've been wondering on this one too. How
this
is
is
it?
not a torch. This
Yeah.
is actually a cool laser, which means that you just use a little gel, but you have to apply it in one area for long enough for it to work before you move on to the next one. So for me, my problem area are the eyes. So,
Mhm.
you know, it's for the smile lines, the expression lines, and you can move it around. It's not the kind of laser that you keep moving, moving, moving. You actually
Yeah.
have to very slowly work, but the clinical studies are phenomenal. And again, it fits
How
in the palm of
how
your hand.
regular do you have to be with it to start seeing results?
Initially, quite a lot. So
Yeah.
it's about 20 minutes for the first 12 weeks, which to any person seems like, oh my God, I don't have 20 minutes
Put it in
every
the
single
car.
day.
Put it in the car. I don't care if you're just driving your kids to school, it takes 20 minutes back and forth. Wait, that's
That
probably
may
not
be a
healthy if
little.
you one hand. Never mind. I retract that.
Well,
Yeah.
Netflix. I'm watching
Yeah,
Netflix
true.
or a show,
Yeah.
and instead of just sitting there like this, I'm actually putting my hands to work.
Yeah.
And I find that these are quite effective. Like the LED mask, for example, that
Hmm.
I wear when I'm answering emails. You know, things have become wearable and handheld
Hmm.
and smarter. And I think tools are a great extension of your hands. So the way we apply products with our hands, now there are tools which devices especially which have things that our hands don't have, which are things like radio frequency, elements like laser, cryotherapy. So your hands can do certain things that devices can't do. Your devices can do certain things that hands can't do. So you can meet in the middle. But I think that people will really enjoy, you know, using things like lasers or percussion therapy massage because not everyone knows how to use their hands
Her
or they
hands are
feel.
just beautiful, guys, when she does the massage. And actually, you have it on your social media for people to see. I
Yeah,
have one I'll be posting as well when we air this of because I filmed you doing the massage and
yeah.
just heavenly.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, watching it is one thing, doing it on yourself. Even if
Yeah.
I try to do the slap that I did on you,
Yeah.
which, by the way, is very satisfying.
Yeah, but like I look like this. I know. I've actually tried it some days where I'm like, I just need some pretty
But
oxygen to
once
my
you've
skin. But
actually activated the blood flow and you start to go a little bit red, you can even do it with 3 fingers. You don't have to do awkward movements once you've created the redness and a little bit of warmth, obviously, with your favorite face oil, with your favorite, even like a little massage mask, which gives you the slip and glide. You can then move it and you can drain, you can work on your muscles, you can work outwards, you can soften your brow. And if you still feel you need a tool, I have one here by Revive, which I quite like,
mm-hmm.
and it has the eye part, which is a roller, very small, small enough to actually drain the puffiness. And these things stay cool, but if you want to keep them cooler, you can put them in the
I'd put
fridge.
them in the freezer. Yeah.
Correct. And so I'm a skincare diva. I actually have a skin fridge.
I did
So
too until it broke the other day. I had it so long. I know. We're like, what's that burning smell?
oh my
So it
God.
was that. I know.
So you can, for those who don't really know how to do the proper massage, this gives you the right amount of pressure, movement, the glide. Again, if someone doesn't know, well, or they feel awkward, which part of my fingers do I use? Do I use the knuckle? Do I use the fingertips? Well, these rollers are quite amazing because they give you the right amount of glide and pressure. But then these are what I like to call the analog tools. Analog versus the digital tools. And the digital tools, so you know how you have analog clocks, the old ones with the
Hmm.
minute and the hour hands
Hmm.
versus the digital clocks. So it's kind of the same reference that I'm referring to when
Hmm.
I refer to different types of devices. Analog are your handheld tools that still require you to hold it. Some have no electricity or mild electricity. But then you have the digital ones, which are your lasers, your microcurrents, radio frequencies, ultrasounds, percussion therapy, cryotherapy. So you can actually do so much more with them. However, they usually tend to work below the skin surface. So where these tools are more massaging the upper layers of the skin, and let me just give you an idea. I always keep this handy really because I find that the skin diagram always helps. So where these tools are working on the surface, you find that things like lasers, LEDs, they actually travel all the way down to where your
Wow.
collagen fibers live. And the
Yeah.
collagen fibers are actually quite way deep down inside,
Hmm.
where
Hmm.
your traditional, even your hands can't reach. Most products, most ingredients don't reach down to that level. Unfortunately, just that part of your skin, which is made up of multiple layers, is what absorbs your skincare. Most of the skincare never travels down to where the collagen elastin fibers are. So, in order to get this part activated, which is where all the juicy stuff lives, yes, you have to use smart devices and
And which
smart skin
ages
tech.
just as fast as the top, and so
Yeah,
you're either kind of, what is it, treading water constantly, just treating the top, or
yeah.
utilizing and really
Well, also
treating
because
the root.
people think that collagen is this squishy aloe vera gel-like material. Collagen fibers are actually the foundations, like pillars within your skin that hold the structure of your skin together. As we age, those pillars start to collapse. And so does our skin, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not giving the best illustration,
No, it
but
is.
those
Yeah.
pillars are not so strong anymore and
Hmm.
they start to collapse. And so, in order to keep them upright, we need to keep producing more collagen. We need to keep reinventing that collagen. And your skin has the ability to do that. And sometimes just massaging a nice cream or just, applying and rubbing nice serums on your skin may not be enough. So,
Yeah.
that's where skin tech comes in.
And the laser for sure. There's the
Yeah.
cooling, the cryo, I'm sure helps. The
Yes.
RF, which is a different radio frequency, that helps
Yes.
as well. So please, guys, head over. I'm actually going to do it right after this, to Adeela's website and adeelacrown.com, and check out. I also have one of her oxygen machines, which I love. It's an at-home oxygen. It's great for under eye circles. I mean, just to bring oxygen and blood flow, drive product in
Yeah.
deeper. I had like a swollen eye this morning, and so I had it on there just to bring the health of the
I
eye.
see your stories when you're always working around your expression lines and
Yeah.
smile lines with that. Because again, going back to the structure of the skin,
Hmm.
the, the beautiful serums will just sit on the surface. So what something like that does is drives it deeper where it can get to work. So where your products can actually do the best work for you. And that's the reason why through that kind of almost like a whoosh of pulse pressure oxygen, it moves away the lymphatic fluid, the toxins, and feeds your skin from the inside. So it's actually quite a smart device, and I'm so glad that you
Yeah,
like it.
I love it. And it's you don't have to do it every day. Like, I do have
No.
I mean, three little kids, a 1 month old right now. I don't have much time. And so it's either directly before bed I throw a little bit on with my nightly care or during the morning and just in key spots. It doesn't necessarily have to be all over in a 20-minute treatment. But these are all amazing tips that we can all utilize immediately. So thank you, in the sense of how to apply our retinol for the best results, the skincare that we need, what we need to focus on in tone and texture, and then all the amazing at-home devices as well. We always end with a speed round. And so I'd love to ask you just a few questions. So when do you feel your best?
It's usually when I get compliments, really, when on my skin.
I love that.
And
Some
well,
people are
I'm
like, in
sorry,
my
I'm breaking it
sweats.
down to
In my sweats. Yeah, no. Yeah,
no,
that's true.
well, I could be. I could be walking down the street. I could
Yeah.
be like, with my hair tied up and not with no makeup on, but someone says, whilst I'm shopping for milk, and someone comes up to me and says, "You actually have good skin." For someone who suffered from bad skin, just to get that compliment is amazing.
I was going to say that and that's what it is, because I had cystic acne when I was in my early 20s too. And when I finally started to get rid of it and somebody complimented my skin, I still remember that compliment. That's how vital it
Well,
was
you
to
remember the
me.
compliment I gave you,
Yeah.
right? Where
Yeah.
I think you
See,
were
I guess it is for me too.
you were very conscious of your melasma, and I
Mhm.
could see that, especially because when I told you, actually, sorry, but what's the problem with your skin? Nothing.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
melasma is something that's treatable. If you take melasma out of the equation, there's nothing wrong with your skin.
Mhm.
It's beautiful,
Thank
and
you.
enjoy that.
Yeah, and I think in our business too, we understand that that's something that says from the inside too, that we're actually taking care of ourselves fully.
Correct.
Even if you're
Yes.
eating well, but you're stressed out all the time, it's going to show.
Yeah.
What beauty product or supplement can you not live without?
I can't live without vitamin B12 shots, which I start the day with. My husband introduced them to me. I think because I suffer from underactive thyroid,
Hmm.
I get the insane amount of fatigue. I find it very difficult sometimes to function in the mornings, and my job is very strenuous. It's very demanding. It's very global. I
Hmm.
have to get on planes to do my job, whereas other people probably have to take the public transport or drive to work, so I
Hmm.
can't do that.
Hmm.
And so just to even make that 5 a.m. flight in the morning, sometimes it's so difficult, because then when I land somewhere, I hit the ground running. I start my work the day I land. So vitamin B12 shots in the morning, that really helped. Another thing that really helped me was I don't take collagen supplements, but I do take omegas, because our bodies don't produce omegas.
Hmm.
So omega 3, 6, and 9, that really helped with hair, skin, nails, especially after pregnancy, after giving birth. During birth, oh, you have glorious hair, and everything is
It's
amazing.
falling
And
out
then
already. I'm trying everything right now.
everything
So
falls
yeah,
out.
yeah. Yeah, just slapped it on the shower wall this morning. But it's actually better. And I'm increasing my omegas this time to see.
Yeah,
Fortuna actually just sent something, the skincare brand, and they launched an olive oil supplement, which I think you take a teaspoon in the morning, because
yeah.
sometimes those omegas are so hard to take. So I'm excited. I was going to take it this morning and I ran in here. I'm going to try it out and see. I think it'll be easier. I like powders and liquids and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think oils just get a bad name. So many skincare brands are even putting omegas in skincare now, because
Hmm.
our bodies, again, because we don't produce omegas, but we do need those omegas for healthy hair, skin, and nails. It's actually nice to introduce them. Yet, like your cuticle oil. Your cuticle oil contains omega, because nail care brands appreciate the fact that it's good for your nails.
Hmm.
So why are we so scared to put it on our face? Because we think that, oh, we'll break out, but actually in the right concentration, these are superb for your skin.
Yeah, I even put our body oil on my face and I've never broken out, and I'm still I can still get cystic acne, but I think
Yeah,
it's the quality. You don't have to be afraid of oils. It's the quality, and potentially it's just the extra ingredients that are sometimes thrown in the products
correct.
as well. Well, thank you so much, Adeela. It is late there and I don't want to take too much of your time. I just appreciate you coming on, knowing your global schedule and how busy you are. And I can't wait to see you here in Los Angeles again soon
Oh,
as
I'll see
well.
you very, very soon. And
Yay!
when I see you, you're going to get slapped again, and I know you're
Yay!
going to like it.
That could be your trademark.
Yeah.
We love you, Adeela. Thank you so much for all of our glowing holiday skin tips. I appreciate it. And have a
Oh,
beautiful evening over there.
Thank you. Anytime.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure that you go to adeelacrown.com. You can also find her at her social media at Adeela Crown on Instagram. And we'll make sure to put up a couple extra videos of her amazing Skindance technique and on our YouTube. So make sure you tune in there as well. And have a beautiful, glowing day. Have questions you need answered? Text me at 1-310-361-8697. Make sure you follow me on social at Christine Bullock, and have a healthy, happy week. See you next time.